Hello, and welcome to this recorded information session where I will be discussing the Registered Apprenticeship Model and how the program is administered in the state of Maryland. My name is Andre Keyser, and I am an Apprenticeship and Training Navigator with the Maryland Apprenticeship and Training Program at the Department of Labor, Licensing, and Regulation. I'm sure that just by looking at the first slide, you can clearly see that registered apprenticeship touches so many different occupations and industries. While registered apprenticeship has been traditionally associated with the skilled trades, any occupation that requires a significant body of knowledge in conjunction with at least a year of on-the-job training can be apprentice. So just what is apprenticeship? Apprenticeship is an earn-as-you-learn strategy that combines on-the-job training with instruction that is geared toward the specific occupation of interest. It is also full-time employment from day one as a W-2 employee, not 1099s. Apprentices are hired at a percentage of the professional or journey person wage rate that gets progressively higher as the apprentice gains tenable skills and competencies in the occupation. Once someone completes that program, they are to become the journey person and receive journey person wage rates that are commensurate with their knowledge, skills, and abilities. Again, this is not training, then a promise of employment. It is simultaneous employment and training. I should also note that the apprentice is an employee first. That means that all rights and privileges that the traditional employee receives, the apprentice also receives. As a fun tidbit for you, over 200,000 employers and labor organizations participate in registered apprenticeship. And it has been shown that for every dollar spent on registered apprenticeship, there is a 147% increase in productivity. Quite simply, that means that registered apprenticeship works. So how is a registered apprenticeship program actually formulated? First and foremost, each RA program must consist of at least 2,000 hours of on-the-job training, where the apprentices are working under the direction of a highly skilled journey person. That corresponds to roughly 50 weeks at 40 hours per week. That said, a 4-year program would take 8,000 hours to complete. The number of hours required depends on the specific occupation. The second component is the related instruction, which must be at least 144 hours for each year of the program. There are also 3 different types of programs: time-based, competency-based, and hybrid. The time-based approach measures skill acquisition through the completion of the hourly on-the-job training requirements outlined for the occupation. This outline of the hours and requirements for the occupation is called the work process schedule. Most of our programs are of this type, and this has been the method utilized by the skilled trades for decades. The competency-based model, however, seeks to measure skill acquisition through the successful demonstration of the required skills and abilities. This model has become more prevalent with the introduction of non-traditional occupations that do not operate under many of the stringent requirements that the traditional trades do. And last but not least are the hybrid programs. This represents the best of both worlds, as it utilizes both the time-based model and the competency-based model. While programs may vary from time-based to competency-based to hybrid, they all have the following 5 components. The first is employer involvement. The first thing that is done in trying to build any registered apprenticeship program is to identify the needs of the employer. Because without employers, there is no apprenticeship. Why? Because apprenticeship is, most importantly, a job and a viable career pathway. The employer provides the wages and often pays for the related instruction as well. The second component is the structured and supervised on-the-job training, which, as you should recall, requires 2,000 hours or the equivalent. And the third component is the related instruction, which requires 144 hours for each year of the program. Moreover, it is through the on-the-job training and related instruction that the apprentices gain tenable skills in their desired occupations. These skill gains are then rewarded with wages that are commensurate with the skills that they have obtained. So, the fourth component are the rewards for skill gains. Then, we have the culmination of the program, which is the conferral of a national occupational credential. This certification is both portable and stackable, which allows for continued growth in one's chosen profession. Remember, apprenticeships are supposed to provide tangible career pathways into an industry. In addition to the components of any registered apprenticeship program, there are some additional technical details you need to know. First, the program sponsor is responsible for administering the program and handling the paperwork. The sponsor can be an individual business, a community college, or another intermediary. In the case that the sponsor is the actual business, the sponsor is also the employer, providing the wages for the apprentices. In some programs, however, the sponsor is not necessarily the employer. The sponsor, for example, can be the provider of the related instruction, and the employers can be a group of contractors or external organizations. These employers would then just be prescribing to the sponsor's program structure. One example of this is IEC Chesapeake, who is a related instruction provider. It has a group of employers, the contractors, that are the ones that are actually employing the apprentices. Once a program is formulated in conjunction with the sponsor and an apprenticeship and training staff member, the program is presented to the Maryland Apprenticeship and Training Council, also known as MATC. The council is composed of representatives from employee organizations, employers, and the general public. These appointments come from the governor. MATC approves the programs and ensures that the programs meet the rigorous standards outlined in our regulations. After MATC's approval, the program is now created and the sponsor can begin registering apprentices. In fact, as of the summer of 2017, the number of registered apprentices in the state of Maryland has been hovering between 9,000 and 10,000. Now that we've gotten those messy details out of the way, let's talk about some of the benefits of registered apprenticeship. The first benefit is the increased retention of employees and the loyalty that apprentices have for their sponsors and employers. It is because these registered apprenticeship programs give the apprentices access to career pathways within industries that they may not have else had access to. It also provides opportunities for growth within the apprentice's chosen occupation. It's constant upskilling, which is why registered apprenticeship works for both new and incumbent workers. In fact, registered apprenticeship boasts a 91% retention rate. But is it any wonder that these employees stay when they feel valued? No, it's not. And our apprentices are evidence of that. Wages for various occupations, especially in the skilled trades, start somewhere around $15 an hour, and can grow upwards of $36 an hour in some occupations upon completion of the program. Moreover, due to the increased retention that the employers are seeing, registered apprenticeship often provides the employers with cost savings since they don't have to keep replacing employees. And this allows for additional investments in training and education. The state also provides financial incentives for employers who register apprentices. One of the major incentives is the Registered Apprenticeship Tax Credit. If a business has employed someone for 7 months of the taxable year and an individual has been an apprentice during that year, the business is eligible to receive a $1,000 tax credit as funds are available. We also use some other funding streams such as Maryland Business Works to support our programs. We will be providing additional training on the individual funding incentives in the near future. Please also check out the following resources from the Federal Department of Labor. You may look at the following toolkits and their registration site to get some more insight into how registered apprenticeship operates on a national level. You may also check out the tools and resources that we have here in Maryland. That is for our youth apprenticeships, Maryland Business Works, and more information on the Maryland Apprenticeship and Training Program. If you have any additional questions or concerns, please contact our Director of Maryland Apprenticeship and Training, Chris McClarion, or myself, Andre Keyser, to get more clarity. As always, thank you for tuning in.